Hi, today I want us to take a moment to go through the new educational reforms that has been done, particularly in STEM education. Over the past year or two, the Ministry of Education in Ghana has introduced some new courses to be offered in STEM schools. You might have heard about them. What goes into it? What will be the ultimate purpose? And what do we hope to get from it? If you are a parent, this is for you. If you're a student, stay tuned. If you're an enthusiast or an educationist, this could also be for you. So let's get into it. The basic thing is that 5 electives have been introduced into the new STEM schools. Of course, there are some para or quasi STEM schools that has already been drafted into the program. And beginning next academic year, which is September onward, these programs will be offered in these schools. So there are 5 electives, new ones, that are labeled STEM subjects that are supposed to prepare the students for tertiary education into engineering or STEM courses. You realize that education in Ghana has been criticized for being only grammar and rote, where students have to chew, pour, pass, but then forget. It is about time we all look at what is happening on the world stage, then change it to the practical oriented section where our students can apply the knowledge they have into building physical things. And this is the technology that is expected in the system. Different schools in different areas have sort of extracurricular activities or groups that have done so well in these areas. There are schools that have very vibrant robotic clubs, engineering clubs, astronomy clubs, STEM clubs, industrial clubs, art clubs, performance, different areas. Now, these activities that are so extracurricular are now going to be formalized into electives that our students can learn and benefit from. So straight away, let's get into these 5 electives. There are 5, just as we mentioned. The first one is engineering. Engineering to mean general engineering. We also have the second one, biomedical science or biomedical engineering, if you can put it that way. The third is manufacturing engineering. Manufacturing, you can look at industries, how to get things done. Later, we'll get to the details. So we have engineering as an elective, biomedical science, manufacturing engineering. Then we also have robotics. Just as you have heard, there are so many schools that have these robotic clubs and groups, and they have done so well locally and internationally. Then finally, we have aviation and aerospace engineering. And personally, I've had a chance or the privilege to be part of those drafting the teacher manuals and learning materials for aviation and aerospace engineering. It has been an exciting journey, and later I will take you into that. So we have these 5 courses. We have engineering, biomedical science, manufacturing engineering, robotics, aviation, and aerospace engineering. They are 5. In the new selection program, out of these 5, you can do a maximum of 3 and a minimum of 2. Once again, there are 5 STEM electives, maximum 3, minimum 2. That is if you choose a STEM school or if you choose a school that has a STEM program. If you get into the school, in total, you'll be required to take a maximum of 9 subjects. That is 5 core, then 4 electives. Excuse me, 5 elective, then 4 core. There are some predetermined core that exist. So we have English, mathematics, and I think social studies. These are very core. But depending on the electives you'll be doing, or learning area that you'll be doing, then your electives will change. And so, if you are in the STEM area, you are going to have an option of choosing three or two out of these five electives. Any of these courses you choose would also come with additional electives, especially from the general science areas that you have to add. For instance, if you choose aviation and aerospace, or if you choose robotics, this are physics biased and also maybe additional maths biased. If you choose biomedical science, would expect you to know something about biology, so you will have to add biology from the general science. So any of the courses you choose among these five STEM electives, uh, you will have to add additional electives from the other general science courses that we already know. So that will be the basics for getting you into that. So we have five STEM courses, and then you choose maximum of three, minimum two. For the subject combinations, they have been made flexible. Flexible in the sense that you can choose any elective you wish to do across any department when you get to the school. So you could be a STEM student who expect you to be studying, say, aviation, robotics, manufacturing, but you can cross over to general arts to pick geography, economics, government, or anything. You can also cross over to home science, business, or any other department you have an interest in to pick any science. They are so flexible. But then your basic electives will come from these five that I've mentioned: engineering, biomedical science, manufacturing, robotics, and then aviation and aerospace engineering. And that is what we are dealing with today. Now, what goes into these STEM electives? First, let's take the first one, which is engineering. There are some learning areas that you have to take note of. So for engineering, there are some four strands or areas of learning that goes into engineering. The first one is engineering practice. Engineering practice, some things like engineering society, health and safety, ethics and professions. That is engineering practice. These things will be spread across the 3 years that you spend. So let's say first year, an engineering practice, you could be doing engineering society. Second year, you do health and safety. Third year, you do ethics, or any of that. It could be spread according to the subject area that you study. So for engineering, there are four strands. We have engineering practice. Second one is energy system. Energy system. In that way, we are looking at circuit machines, renewable energy, energy efficiency and conservation. Energy system, circuit and machines, that is engineering. Then the third area is systems design and prototyping. That is design. So how to get a system running, engineering design, rapid prototyping, and all of stuff. Then the fourth area in engineering is automation and embedded system, how to get everything running autonomously or programmed. So we have to look at automation technologies, how factories or manufacturing industries do it. Embedded systems, systems that may not be the primary one, but help the whole system to go. So engineering, we have four areas that you'll be learning. So if you're a student and you choose engineering as an elective in a STEM school, we'll be talking about engineering practice, energy system, system design and prototyping, then automation and embedded systems. That is for engineering as an elective. Let's go to biomedical science. Biomedical science, of course, we are thinking of biology. Now, what goes into it? Is it also about the amoeba, the kingdom, protista, familia, whatever? Yes, so there are four strands in biomedical science. There you'll be looking at one, biomedical science in society, two, human body system, three, biomedical intervention, then four, biomedical innovations. Once again, biomedical science in society, human body system, biomedical intervention, and then biomedical innovations. Now, what goes into any of these things? Under biomedical science in society, we're looking at biomedical science practice and biosafety. This could be spread along the 3 year. So, Form 1, you can do biosafety. Form 2, you may do biosafety. Form 3, you may do an aspect of biosafety, aspect of all these things. So that is that for biomedical science in society. Then the second strand is human body system. Human body system. And that one, the major thing is anatomy. Anatomy. So this kind of system, skeletal system, muscular system, endocrine system, whatever system, that's human body system. Then we also look at diseases and disorders. Diseases and disorders. That is under human body system. This will also be spread along the 3-year course. So you can do bits and bits of each of that in the 3-year course. Then the third one is biomedical intervention. Biomedical intervention. How do we address these things that affect the body system? So we have diagnostic devices. Diagnostics. How do we determine this? So scan, X-ray, all those to diagnose a certain disorder or disease with the body system. Then we also look at therapeutic systems, therapy, how to address what has been diagnosed. If somebody is diagnosed to have, say, a heart condition, hole in heart, what are the devices that will be used to give therapy to cure that thing? That is biomedical intervention. So diagnostic devices, then therapeutic devices. Then the last one, which is the biomedical innovations, we have research and design in biomedical science. Research and design in biomedical science. And that will be for you as the student to apply all these things to see how you can also design a system. You research and design a system, innovate, so that what you innovate could be used either for diagnosis or for therapy to help biology or health in general. So for biomedical science, there are 4 learning areas or 4 strands in that: biomedical science in society, human body system, biomedical intervention, and biomedical innovations. That's what you'll be looking at as a student when you pick biomedical science. So by now, you should be thinking about which one to choose. If you choose engineering, you're looking at in the end engineering design and all of that. If you choose biomedical science, you look at the anatomy of human system, then how we can diagnose and give therapy, then how we can also design, innovate something into helping biomedical science. So that is health. That is biomedical science. The third area is manufacturing engineering. And by manufacturing, the word itself explains itself. Manufacturing. But what are we looking at under manufacturing? There are 3 strands in manufacturing engineering. The one is materials. Materials. Whatever you are going to manufacture, the source, the start is a material, raw material you pick, and then you try to process it into something else. So materials for manufacturing. Then we have design and prototyping. Design and prototyping. Then last one, manufacturing tools, equipment, and processes. So let's look at the first one, materials for manufacturing. Materials as it is not all metal, no. So we're looking at classification of materials, whether these are metals, non-metals, whatever the chemistry, you know that one. So if you choose that course, you will know what kind of elective you will have to add so that it can give you the knowledge or the basic foundation you need to understand what we're talking about. So if you choose manufacturing, the first thing you'll be learning is materials, classification of materials. Then also look at properties of materials after classifying them into metals, non-metals, whatever. The individual properties that make them different from each other. That is what you'll be looking at. Then the second one are the design and prototyping. We have design and drawing for manufacturing. Back in GSS, we all carried the T-square with the drawing board and all that. Is that going to happen? We don't know. So design and drawing for manufacturing. These days, everything is on computer. So CAD design, computer aided design. Sometimes we even have CAM, computer aided manufacturing. Then we have rapid prototyping, how to get some a model or sample ready as easy as possible. There are so many software out there that can get you that and going. Then the third learning area, the third strand is manufacturing tools, equipment, and processes. That these are self-explanatory. So manufacturing tools and equipment will be classified. Manufacturing processes will be done. Safety, quality, and the environment. How to manufacture without harming the environment. So environmental safety, then quality. I mean, standards in manufacturing and to make sure that the Earth's and its natural environment is preserved. So you will also be learning that when you take manufacturing engineering in a S.T.E.M school, then it means that you should have a good technical drawing and that stuff that you know that you are designing, you are looking at materials, then how to ensure environmental protection and safety in that one. So that is for manufacturing. Three strands: materials for manufacturing, design and prototyping, the manufacturing tools, equipment, and processes. So you should be thinking about what you can do and what you wish to see. Then the most common area everybody knows, the fourth subject in the S.T.E.M schools that will be offered, excuse me, will be robotics. Robotics. Here we are building robots. Mostly, you may be exposed to robots in one way or the other because it is a common area, even at a primary level, that we are made to do something small in the form of a robot, or we learn how to do something. You may have a laptop, you may even know programming. So the Python, the C++, the Java, those things, you may even know them already. You may also know something about Arduino. Those are the basic stuff. But what goes into the robotics as a subject? There are three strands that you have to be thinking about. The first one is principles of robotic systems. Principles of robotic systems. Two, robot design and methodologies. Design and methodologies. Then three, robot construction and programming. So there are three things that's very involving. Principles of robot systems, robot design and methodologies, then robot construction and programming. So if you look at the principles, we are first looking at robots and society, robot control principles, sensors and actuators. This will be spread in the 3 years. So maybe year one you do robot and society, year two you do robot control principles, year three you do sensors and actuators. But in the end, you would have done robot and society, robot control principles, sensors and actuators, and that will do for principles of robotic systems. Then two, robot design methodologies. So digital and analog system design, digital system, analog system design. Then tools and apps for robot design. And these days they are commonplace on your mobile phones. You could get some handy apps, basic programming, basic design. You can get that one done. This will also be spread in the 3 year period, and you will know which one to go. Then the last one, which is the robot construction and programming, there is higher order design thinking. Higher order design thinking. So here we'll be applying a lot of mathematics, the matrix, and all of that one. Higher order design thinking. How do you get an arm to move with a servo that has to rotate in a certain angle, certain degree, or there's a certain distance to be covered, or if there is something, a feeling, a system, a sense to be determined, smoke detection, maybe fire detection, something. Higher order design thinking. How do you get these sort of things to be done by a circuit? How do you get all those variables put in one? Then robot construction. Robot construction. Presumably, you may be doing something on your own. So, and the government has done well in that case. Robot labs are being established where these kits could be provided for your hands-on activity, and this is all hands-on, and so you have to be ready for that. Then the last one will be programming robots. So that one you are going to need your computer skills. So if you choose robotics, there are other electives that could also help you in that regard, say ICT, computing. You have to think about that. Then additional mathematics that will get you into that form of thinking. So it's not just about when the robot there. No, what goes into it, you must understand the basics, the physics aspect of it, the mathematics aspect of it, then the programming aspect of it. By this time, you should have a computer, you should have something that you also try your hands on if you want to go into a robotics in the STEM education and the STEM senior high school. Then, of course, the most interesting one, the last part, is aviation and aerospace engineering. Aviation and aerospace engineering. So, for aviation and aerospace engineering, there are four strands. The first one is the core concept in aerospace engineering. Two, we have avionics, that is aviation electronics. Then we have aviation industry. Then finally, unmanned aerial vehicles or UAVs, what you know as drones. So let's look at it. Under core concept in aerospace engineering, we are going to be learning fundamentals of flight, aerodynamics and propulsion, aircraft structures and control. So those are the basic conceptual things in aerospace, the understanding, the fundamental principles. How does an aircraft flies? How does it control? How does the weather affect it? The theory of flight. So here your physics and other small things, your mathematics, small ones, you have to come in because you have to calculate maybe the amount of lift, the amount of drag, forces on the aircraft, all those ones. Yeah. So that is the aerodynamic side. That is the theory of flight, core concept in aerospace engineering. Then second one is avionics. Avionics is aviation electronics. So yes, you are meeting your electronics back here. So electronics, we are looking at fundamentals of avionics, aircraft instrumentations, communication, navigation, and surveillance system. So in that case, how do we use physics to help the aircraft perform? So avionics, electronics, all apart from the structure of the aircraft, the rest, navigation systems, communication systems, how do they find their way? How do they navigate? How do they know their height? All those things. What are the physics principles that underlie all these things, and how would these things affect the aircraft? Instrumentation. How do we measure where we are? What is that? What is that? Heat systems, thermodynamics, something small. So avionics, that would be that. So if you are thinking of choosing aviation and aerospace engineering in a STEM school, be thinking about the physics a bit, the mathematics a bit. Yeah, yeah, they have to understand the basic principles because that may be needed. Then the third strand is the aviation industry. In the aviation industry, we're looking at aviation profession and operations. So at a typical airport or airline, the people that work there, ticketing, passenger, cargo handling, or we all know of flight attendants or air hostess or air hoster, we all wanted to be one work case. But then, what are the actual duties? Is it just about being that? No, what goes into it? So that one is considered. Then aviation organizations. There are local aviation bodies, international aviation bodies, ICAO, IATA, IASA, FAA. In Ghana, we have Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, GCA, all of that will be done. Then we also have aircraft maintenance. Aircraft maintenance. So this will be spread along the 3 year course, and you'll be doing one at a certain year and another at a certain year. So you have to be there to find out. Then the last thing is the unmanned aerial vehicles. That is the most interesting and the most practical part that you as a student, you as a teacher, you as a parent will be directly involved in because drones, drones. Now everywhere is drones. So the application of aeronautics in building unmanned aerial systems, unmanned aerial systems. Here you'll be learning UAV applications, civilian applications, military applications, then safety and deregulations, the laws that guard the operations of all these things. Then we have design and fabrication of UAVs. And this one you have to prepare yourself because the whole of your 3 year program, every year you have something to build. It starts from first year. It starts from first year. So aviation aerospace is a very interesting as it is. No matter how the theory goes, no matter how it is, everybody wants to see you build something that will fly. And it's a very demanding, very interesting, but then you must be determined and really focused if you want to offer aviation and aerospace engineering. So yes, this is what the STEM is about. There are 5 electives: engineering, biomedical science, manufacturing engineering, robotics, aviation, and aerospace engineering. Out of these 5, you can offer 3 or 2. Then you add additional courses to also beef up what you want to do here. So by now, maybe you have had your 2 already, or you have had your 3 already. Are you interested in flying, machines, health, what? Industry? You can choose any of them. So maximum 3, minimum 2. We hope to see you in school. We hope to see you also doing very, very well. So if you're a parent, this is for you. Let's advise our children. Let's mentor them accordingly so they select the best courses. All these courses are based on interest. They are based on interest. But then there is work in it. So it is not like I like planes, I want to see how planes fly, then you go and sit there. But then the work in it, you may not be ready to do. You would have to think, you would have to. And this time round, all the lessons in this term or the new curriculum is learner centered. It is learner centered. So do not expect your teacher to come and lecture. No, he's not coming to preach. No, you will have to do most of the work, the research, the learning tasks, all those things you will have to be involved. And this is engineering. This is engineering. It is being brought down to a level that any senior high school students will be able to handle it. So let's be prepared and let's enjoy this day in STEM. The 5 electives are there, no matter the school that you choose. If they're offering a STEM, you have 3 options or 2 options in addition to other courses. Make the best choice out of your interest. When you get there, do work hard, and the end will be for you as an engineer. Thank you. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. I will address it to you. And once again, this is Time with Engineer. Have a nice week, and God bless you. Bye-bye.